15 years ago today, 9/11 happened, where planes crashed into the World Trade Center, killing thousands upon thousands of people. Upon this recording, today is September 11th, 2016, and I wanted to make this video and tell my story of where was I remembering 9/11 and where was I during this event. I know a lot of people always ask, where were you on that day? Where were you when this thing happened, when that thing happened, when 9/11 happened? Where were you? And I want to give my story, and hopefully for those that see this video, I hope you'll leave your comments and I can read your comments and see where you were on this day. Without further ado, here's where was I. I remember I was in 6th grade. Wow, 6th grade. Hard to believe. I was 11 years old, and I remember it was just your normal day. Nothing didn't seem awkward, nothing didn't seem wrong. And I remember I had a sprained thumb. I was playing some soccer, and a ball had hit my thumb, kind of like maybe about like right about here, maybe there. It wasn't broken or anything. It was just a sprain. So I remember going home, and I remember looking out in that driveway, and I remember like there was like 4 cars in my driveway. Now, 4 cars in your driveway, that's very unusual. Very unusual. And at first glance, I thought that it was like a gathering, or maybe some old friends came into town and just wanted to drop in and say hi, or maybe there was some sort of a meeting. It was very mind-boggling. So I walk in, there's some chit-chat going on in the family room, and I walk in and I said, "Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's all the chit-chatting here?" And I remember my mom coming up to me, and she said to me that 2 planes crashed into the World Trade Center. And I was like, say that again? Now, once again, I was 11 years old. I was in 6th grade. I knew New York, I knew the city, but I never knew like the World Trade Center or the Empire State Building. I never knew any of those buildings. But I knew what they were after this event. And I was always taught afterwards like what the World Trade Center was, the Empire State Building, as time went on. And I remember the next day in school, there was this very silence, I should say. It was quiet. It was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. I remember going on the bus, and I remember not one student made a sound. Nobody made a sound. It was a very quiet bus ride from when we picked up all the kids to the school that I was going to even the hallways. And I even remember I was in class, and the principal of the school at the time mentioned this broadcast, and he was explaining how the planes crashed into the World Trade Center and killed tens and thousands of people. And there was this meeting in the gym, and I'll never forget that. It was a very, I don't know the right word to describe it, but it was a very, I mean, yes, it was very sad, very emotional, but it was almost like the life force sucked everything out of everything. And it it was an event. It was definitely events, no question about it. And I remember SmackDown. They did a live SmackDown special because this happened on a Tuesday when 9/11 happened. And I remember SmackDown had a live broadcast. Very great tribute. And all the wrestlers giving their thoughts. Very, very, very nice tributes. Chris Jericho. I forgot who else gave a tribute as well. But another story. This wasn't my story. This was an industrial arts teacher that I had. He told us the story from his perspective of what happened. And his story, once again, this is my industrial arts teacher, not my story. His story was that he was sitting in his office and he had his foot on his table, listening to music or listening to the radio. I think he was listening to baseball or something. And all of a sudden the radio cuts out on his end and he hears the next thing. We interrupt this program to bring you breaking news. 2 airplanes crashed into the World Trade Center. And my teacher was like, wait a second, how is that even possible? And obviously everyone thought it was an accident or there was some sort of a confusion. So my teacher went into the library, and sure enough, it was only him and like 2 other people. And on TV, they were watching this live broadcast of the planes going into the World Trade Center. And there was a discussion. They were wondering, what should we do? Should we mention this? What should we do? And they said, let's not mention anything. Let's keep this underground. Wait till the kids get home. Let them see it for themselves. And then the next day, we'll mention it on the broadcast. And that's what happened. 9/11 will be a memorable event for those that have lived it. Me, you guys, the viewers, and millions of other people here in America. Even for those that live in Canada, for those that live in Europe, for those that were able, for the people like in Europe that either had found a way to watch it live or watched it afterwards. They watched it with us here in America. And I actually found this out very recently. Starting in the next high school semesters, or I don't know if it's just high schools or all schools now that have history. Now they're going to be teaching kids the 9/11 event for those that were not born before 9/11/2001. So this is pretty much kids that were born like in October of 2001 all the way till now, which obviously they never seen it. This was afterwards, but we did. And we're a part of that history. I wanted to make this video to discuss where was I. This is an event that will never be forgotten for those that have lived through this and even those that live to tell the tale. And 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, when I'm 76 in the next 45 years, we're still going to be talking about this day. I hope you guys enjoyed taking this time and taking this moment to listen to this in this remembering of 9/11 and where were you in this event. I hope you guys comment, and if you do comment, I would like to hear where you guys were. Maybe between you and I, and maybe between me and millions of others that see this, we can all have a connection with some sort, whether it be school, maybe you were playing in the park or something, or maybe you were at a buddy's house, who knows. I would like to hear your guys' stories. And until then, I hope you guys enjoyed my story. I hope you guys took the time to listen to my story. 15 years have gone by, and to this day, it's still hard to believe that it's now been 15 years, and this is an event that we will never, ever forget. Thank you for listening. Until then, have a good night.